On to week 11 here. Let's start out. Thursday night will already be done by the time most of you listen are here to this. So we'll just move on to the first game on Sunday, which is the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Right now, Tennessee Titans are 10 to 10.5 point home favorites in this one, a 44.5 type situation on the total. Guys, I've not pulled the trigger yet, I will fully admit, but I am very close to wanting to play the Houston Texans at 10.5 in this game. And listen, I have an under ticket on the Houston Texans for season total perspective. I thought this was going to be, and it still very well might be, one of the worst teams we have seen in a hot minute here. But this Tennessee Titans team, since Derrick Henry has gone down, and now Julio Jones going on IR. I mean, this offense has been absolutely putrid. And yes, they've gotten by, and hats off to that. There has to be some credit to be given for teams that get by in these type of situations. But it is, I just don't know how long that can continue to last here. Steven, what say you?
I'm with you. And Matt, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I know that over the rest of the season, you are fairly high on the Titans as if they get healthy, right? This underscores the difference between a Super Bowl futures conversation and a week to week, are they going to cover the spread conversation? Because I think 10.5 is too much at this point. Our lead writer, Eli Hershkovich, in his best bets column for week 11 has Houston as well. He notes that Tyrod Taylor in his 3 games would rank 14th in highest completion percentage over expected, tied with Ryan Tannehill. So interesting note there for this one. The Texans coming off a bye, that never hurts. For me, it is about this Titans offense since they lost Derrick Henry. It's been bad. It's been a small sample, but below average in EPA and success rate, less than 4 yards per play against the Rams, less than 5 yards per play against the Saints. And these key injuries are piling up. It's not just Derrick Henry. It's Julio Jones on IR. Now Bud Dupree is injured. He has an issue this week.
Taylor Lewan went down during the course of the game as well. Yeah.
I mean, and people might not put much into this, but Jeremy McNichols, their running back, has a concussion. He might be their second best pass catcher at this point behind A.J. Brown. So I just think it's interesting. One of their longtime beat writers, Paul Kaharski, reported this week that the Titans have had 82 players play in a game this season. That's 2 shy of the most since 1993. It's only week 11, guys, and they're 2 shy of breaking that record. So that just shows you how many injuries they've had. They've had remarkable results to get to the record that they've had, but that's a different conversation than can they cover 10.5 points. That's a lot in the NFL, and I'm going to take the dog here.
Brad, listen, if this was still Davis Mills, no chance that I would even consider something like this. Again, this hasn't been in, this is not in my account yet. I'm teetering on the line right here, especially since they're giving me the hook on the 10. What do you think here about the Texans on the road at the Titans?
I think it's a tricky one. So I would say there's a big mismatch in the Titans defensive line. So 4th in the NFL in sacks. You know, I spoke about them last week, how just they've been wrecking the league for the last month or so, going up against a genuine bottom feeder offensive line in the Texans. So that's a mismatch. But obviously the spot, now I know, Matt, you're not a huge spot guy, but obviously the Titans, after 5 huge games in a row, won all of them, AFC contenders in there, Chiefs, Bills, Rams, Saints last week, good teams. And now it's got to be some sort of exhalation at some point. And you've got the Houston Texans coming in, who you smash every single time you play them. This is a spot where they might not play well. And as Steven said, like they've been a bottom quartile team the last 2 weeks in terms of yards per play and success rate. So to me, to me, it feels like the spot is built into the number. It's not a huge number for a Super Bowl contender at home to like the worst team in the league, is it? 10.5 points. We've seen 18 on the road. We've seen 19.5 on the road. So yeah, I don't really know what to do with that. I think it's probably a fairish line.